everyone, welcome back to Vic's Bricks. Today we're doing just a bit of a chat, an update of where I'm going at this part of the shed. As you can see, I'm underneath the table, and you'll remember from my other videos, I've got the lights on and they make such a difference because I can't see without them. And the core flute's down, ready to go, everything's all good, and I'm just going to do this end in another extension of the Cholita sitting. So it's going to have all the modulars and things down here. What I'm working on at the moment, and I found when I did the up there, you've got to lay all the foundations first, because I didn't last time and I had to, it was a bit of a nightmare. You'll remember from my trains, I think it was not sure if it was a tips and tricks or it might have been an extended one we did, where I talked about laying out your trains, being very careful about the corners, because the trains, when they go on a corner, they'll cut in. And so what I've done with this one here is I've given the 3 spaces, 3 dots, to give room for the curves of the train. So what I'll do is I will show you what I've been up to in here this morning, and I just happen to have a little train here. Probably might just turn around a little bit, make it a bit easier to see. So bear with me while I just flip myself around. All right, so as you can see, I've got my little train there, and I wanted to double check that when it went round, whoops, round the back of my butt, sorry, that the main thing was to make sure that it didn't hit the wall or the post on its way past. And it didn't, which is wonderful. Let me spin around again. I'm not used to being videoed while I'm working. So this has worked out well. This bit down here is going up here now. And it just comes back round and it'll go back down there. What I'm doing with the railways in this section is a double, an elevated train on top of this one. So this is the one that's actually going to sit right on here and go around in there. So I had to lay it on the floor first to make sure it didn't hit anything. And I'll show you one that I prepared earlier very shortly. But finishing up here, this is, obviously when you're doing your layouts, make sure you've got your base plates down so that you know how far from everywhere you have to be, which is, as I said, I've put the 3 spaces on each edge. Train tracks, straights, curves, and I think they're just called flexible tracks, these ones. And like I said in my video, once you've got it all laid out, you need to stabilise it. And with that, you put the 4x2 little base, little plates. And again, if you're doing anything with trains, you need a lot. Now, that was the 4x2 plate that I was talking about. And you put it on the joins. I'll move my legs so you can see. You put it on the joins like that so that it stops them coming apart. And do that on every join. Don't be lazy, like I said in my other video, on every join. And then, because it's going to be elevated, you're going to have to put the 1x2 plate, which is the little one, and it goes on the underside of those joins and will sit on the elevated bit. So this is my work in progress just here. Let's go to one I prepared earlier, which is just up the other end of this table. Let's go. So as you can see, this is what I prepared earlier. It's still a draft. I wasn't sure exactly what bricks and things I was going to use, so that's why it's all multicoloured. It won't be when I'm finished. I just needed to work out the best way to build an elevated track on here. What I decided to use was the black, I'm not sure what they're called, I'll find out, and they're 10 bricks high. So, and the way I did it to start with, I had got my tape measure and I measured up to there, the height of the elevated one, and then I just put together how many bricks I needed. And for this elevation, it was 34 and a third. So that way I used 3 of these 10-story ones, and I'll be using 4 normal brick size, and then a third, which is one of those 1x2 little grey plates that I just mentioned a second ago. And also, when you're doing an elevated one like this, you've got to have, especially when you're doing it over another track, like this one is directly over the other track, you've got to have a plate 12x2, because again, watching for those curves of the train. These ones I'm putting closer together. They're only 8, which is what the width of a train track is. I'm leaving them at 8 because there's no train underneath it, obviously. This one, the top level is coming around, goes back, and then is going all the way down to there, do that roundabout and come back again. The base one is going to follow here, but when it gets to here, it's going to run just straight down the front of my table. So I'll show you in a minute what I'm doing in the middle. So yeah, I only have to, this one comes around from here. This one, not sure if you can see with my foot in the way, this straight track's going to come straight down there and join up with the other one. So the bottom train will go round in an oval, and the top track goes around and then back onto itself, a bit like a figure 8. So yeah, that way it's not going to run in front of the buildings that are going to be there. You'll still see it behind here. And yeah, the couple of challenges that I had with this, obviously because of the height. Normally, if you're doing an elevated train that I've seen on most cities, they're normally only the 2 towers high. But because I wanted to use this part of my shed, I had to do it up to 30, up to there. The braces that I've used in here, oh, I don't want to lift it up, are these ones. These are 6 high. Those are the braces. So I've used those all along in here. And then when it comes out of that little section of the shed, the reinforcement of the shed, I've gone to the 34 and a third. But yeah, these ones here, I'm not sure if you can see it behind me. Yeah, they're all on this, just to get them up to that height above there. There was another challenge, which I'll show you in a minute. It's right in the middle of here, and I'll show you that in a minute. That was a bit of a challenge as well, but I'll get onto that in a minute. The main challenge I found was the stability of these. Now, I'll take one off just to show you what I mean. All right, now with these, now that I know exactly that it's going to be 34, what I'm going to buy are they're a square brick with the cross hole in the middle, and I'll be putting them between these black ones. They're going to be black as well, and so they'll look like that, but they'll be black and they'll be square. Now, with these, if you don't have reinforcements, they just easily bend and break. This one has got one of those little reinforcement ones. This is only a 2. Because I'm doing the bit in between, I've ordered the fore length. So what I'll do is it'll start in there, go through that one and into that one, and basically have a pin through there so it won't move at all. And I'll be doing that all the way. So once it's on here, it's not going to move. It won't break like that. It won't come apart because it'll have the axle pin through it. And that's why, as I said, it's all different colours at the moment. I just wanted to get the height and draft it up. But yeah, that's the thing about doing something so high. I was going to use some of the lock-in techniques, but I think this will work just as well. It'll all be in black, so you won't even notice it. And yeah, so that was what took me a little while to do over the weekend and what I've been doing. But yeah, it definitely takes a bit of time to do this. Oh, I'll put that back together later. Okay, what else was on here? Yep, again, I've laid the base plate. Leave my legs. I've laid the base plate along the back here, and I've stuck the train track on it so it's nice and stable. It's not going anywhere. This one up here, some of these are not overly stable at the moment, but what I'm doing is putting a long plate underneath that will run from the wall to there, and so the track won't move. It'll be very, very stable. It's fairly stable at the moment, but as I said, this is just a draft. And I finished this off not that long ago, a day or so ago. And again, make sure you've got a train to test it. So I've got my little train up here. Get him to come around and test, and especially these corners. That's why, as you can see, the nose pops out and you've got to give it plenty of space to get round. And again, on its way in here, you've got to make sure it's just about to hit the wall when it comes around that corner. If I didn't give it that three stud clearance, it would have hit the wall. So again, oopsie, make sure before you set anything up like this, do a model on the floor. And yeah, because there's nothing worse than trying to get all these things fixed while they're up. Okay, so that's this part here. I'm going to just show you what's going to happen in the middle, and I'll show you that little challenge that I had in the middle. So let's move to the middle of the floor. Welcome to the middle of the table. For those of you who are Monty Python fans, you'll get that one. So the middle of the table. What I had to do, my challenge here, you saw the train tracks down there were the height of this. You'll notice they've started coming up higher and higher and higher. It's because my air conditioning conduit is there and it's higher than this. So what I had to do was just increase the height up to the middle, and then it'll go back down, going down the other end. So yeah, when I went to lay this bit here, I went, okay, there's a challenge. And all I really did was, I'll see if I can get a piece to show you. I just added some height. Here we go. Whoop. I just added some height to there. Got a couple of bricks there, a couple of plates. And what I did was the original square one, as I said, was it's 6 high, and this had to be 8. So I just increased it by a third, like a plate size, on each of the reinforcements there. So it gently inclines up, and then going down the other side, it gently inclines down. So when it does run, I'll just grab my little test train. So yeah, so when it runs, it'll gently come up the incline and just go straight through like no problem at all. Rather than, and that's the thing too, is when you are doing inclines, don't do it too sharp, because the train will struggle to get up, and B, when it gets to the top, when it goes down on the same incline, it goes really, really fast and it can derail. So again, if you're building up a ramp of a train, the longer the better, and the shorter increase is better. I found that out too when I had my train set up in my dining room. I had a incline like this, and it wasn't great. So yeah, again, steady. It was just one plate size, 1/3 on each of these, and it just runs fairly smooth. So that was my challenge. Once I mean, not really a challenge, but yeah, I just had to overcome and adapt as we do. And again, with the I said I'm running the underneath one. We'll have the plates running through there, so the train will run underneath there. This one's gone all the way through, and then these ones at the front, so it'll run basically all the way around like that. Laying your base plates. Now, I've got modulars done to go in here for Chilita, and I started laying them out and moving them around, but it was too difficult trying to move things around. So what I did was I just grabbed a whole heap of base plates, and that way I know they're going to be my modulars and my road bases. So now coming on in from there and knowing that I've got 3.5, because you'll remember when I did the layout, remember I said I've got about four base plates to work with, so that it doesn't come too far out from there. So I've got half like the 16 stud, half a base plate up the back for the train track, and then 1, 2, 3 base plates, and then another half base plate. That makes the 4, and then, as I said, that train will run along here, which I will put another base plate onto there. So it ends up being, it'll look like that when it's, because again, don't forget with your train tracks, you've got to put a ballast on it, which is basically the lifting it up and securing it with those 1x2, and yeah, that way it just won't move, it won't shift. So again, that's what it'll look like, and yeah, just working out. I haven't worked out what my roads are doing yet, but yeah, you put the roads in, things like that, laying out the modulars, and then once I'm happy with the layout, then I'll start taking the base plates out, put the modular in, and work it from there. But yeah, make sure you've got the groundwork done first, because I was very lucky with up there. It was all flat, so I just did it all on the computer. I had base plate size things and put everything where I wanted it. Down here, because of the beams and poles and all the bits and pieces that are part of the shed, it's too hard to do that. So what I'm going to have to do is basically, I can't really do it on the computer because they're different distances and thicknesses, and I tried, but I'm not going to do it. So now I'm just going to do it by hand with my base plates, like you see here, and go from there. So that's a part one of the underneath of Chilita. I think probably won't be too long until I can get a fair bit of it done. I've ordered the pieces that I need to finish the elevated train to make that look all lovely, and also you'll notice one thing when I talked about trains last time, because I said we're mainly doing trains. Most of my train tracks are the doubles, so you got 2 there, and I did talk about there was some grey ones that are a single. Let me just grab the curved ones over here. They're light grey, but they're only single. So they're only single stud along there, as opposed to the double. And I didn't really like them, but I thought, well, I'll use them all up. So what I did was, that's why I put them up here. So the light grey ones that go all across the back are just the single, just so I could use them up, because yeah, it's you know, waste not, want not, I reckon. So yeah, if you're on a bit of a budget, and yeah, just reuse everything, and yeah, go from there. So what I'll do is I'll leave that with you, and be back in about I don't know, week or two, and we'll see where we're at. Oh yeah, probably a couple of weeks until I get, because I've only just ordered my my parts, and they've got to come from AliExpress. So when they get here, I'll fix it all up, and we'll do a bit of a recap on underneath Cholita. So till then, happy building, and yeah, just get out there and do some. See you next time. Hooroo!